completely. I think we're talking so much about the Ducks here. I immediately think, oh, you know, the wall illusions.
No,
how are they going to interact?
Ducks fan, brother. Ducks fan.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. It's gonna get a little bit nasty if they're not careful. I think Kukuys, of course, they just qualified through open qualifiers yesterday. Here, they had a pretty easy journey, all things considered. Kukuys is back to streaming. A spicy all chat coming out. I mean, it's funny that Paolo says that because just a couple of months ago, he was on Kukuys, he was streaming as well. So
it's what we call the holiday camp, right? So you take a break. No, you're not in a proper team, so you go to that Kukuys break camp. You know, all the players that kind of didn't really get a good opportunity in the shuffles usually end up in the Kukuys stack, right? So you stream, you have fun, you shit talk, but at the same time you're also playing, right? And you're gonna be winning the O queues and getting into the C queues, and you're gonna be trying to hurt or break some teams. You know, you're gonna have to decide. Okay, is it time for streaming or is it time for actually trying to practice and win the close qualifiers? You know, and right now it seems like they're in a good spot. You know, I think the overall lineup this time for the Kukuys stack.
Yeah, looks pretty solid, right?
Probably one of the most solid lineups.
Yeah, if you slap these players together, you tell me this is the new talent lineup, I wouldn't even be surprised. Like, this is something that is very realistic, right? Gabby, he made that decision to step away post Blacklist, and he's been sort of on that streaming content grind. I don't know if there are any streamers other than maybe Kuku himself who are bigger than Gabby in the Philippines. He is so popular. He's a hilarious guy, and I mean, but if he did come back, this stack would be a pretty solid team supporting him to come back to. So maybe something to look forward to. But for now, still dreams unrealized in the early stages of the close qualifiers here. One game away from dropping to the lower bracket early on. Not really where you want to be. Some early pressure already being put out onto Tino. That's kind of what you want to see from the Troll Warlord, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to offset the lane matchup of the Tusk into Silencer. I think whenever you're playing Silencer, this Tusk hero is like a threat to you, right? Especially when he gets level 2. Because you're a low armor hero, you're slow, tag team plus shot block, or even a snowball at level 2, you're most likely mincemeat, right? In most cases, especially when you have Iron Shell on you. He's taking the long walk because he didn't block the camp, so he needs to dodge away. So he has to avoid the camps and eventually returns to the lane. But this is why Troll is good into these Ducks. Yeah, you kind of can tank certain waves and you have a lot of kill potential with your slow and your whirling axe in the lane. That's why he's. I think he has a lot of lane synergy with the Silencer here. Compared to last game, right, they had the Naga plus Faces Void, which doesn't really feel like obviously not really that great in the lane. So this game, I think they kind of took they figured out that was the problem, so they took a different approach, which I kind of like.
Bro, they both look at each other. The Faces Voice look at the Naga and her 3 illusions. The Naga and the 3 illusions look at the Faces Voice. It's like, guys, what are we doing here? Like, what's the plan?
It's not just the lane, right? In the team fights, they're also looking at that. So do I song to start for the chrono?
Yeah, do you want a chrono, or do I song after to help you when you do no damage in the chrono and then they are like close to killing you? Like, how are we setting this up? Look, we can put game 1 behind us. I'm sure that's what Kukuys would want as well, because they are looking a lot more solid in this game number 2. I feel like the draft makes a lot more sense, right? The Troll is going to be that front line, and then you have the Storm Silencer to counter-initiate along with the Solar Guardian if needed. How does this game's complexion differ to the previous game? Are there any sort of teams that are looking to play a bit faster? Are they both just looking to get their major items and team fight it out? What are the milestones that we can expect?
Very similar to the last game where Execration has a timing lineup. The Darkseid Aura plus the Sven 20 minutes, you have Dagger, and then 23, 24, you have BKB, and then you're going to be fighting around those times. But at the same time, they also have very good scaling this time. I would say way better scaling than last game. Last game, they had Bristol back as a carry, so they definitely had a shorter window of ending the game. But this time around, I don't feel like they're too worried. Late game Puck is Menace. It's very scary late game. Sven is still decent late game. And Darkseid is also like one of the hardest scaling offlaners, right? Because of the wall, you always the stronger your enemies get, the stronger your wall is gonna get, But at the same time, Troll is not the best wall hero, I would say.
Yeah. Doesn't really get a lot out of that illusion. CML being blood grenaded. Hammer slightly off the mark though, and the siphoning ward healing him up quite a nice bit, so not really under any threat at all.
Yeah,
So far, CS-wise, looks like Kukuys are doing a lot better than last game.
It's gonna come down to, I think, how well the lane start. Okay, they're gonna finally get the pick off here because they were out of resources. The Sven doesn't have mana for, unless he pop his stick to help his support there, but he decides not to do it.
Yeah, why would he do that? Psh,
Yeah,
just a
why?
useless-
Why
who
would
cares?
I?
Who cares? Why would I use my resources?
You know why? Because I need him in the lane to farm, but at the same time, I could let him die, and then he goes
Solo
back.
EXP.
I get solo EXP, and he brings me my item, so I don't have to wait for my career. He could be my career. So
Yeah.
why not?
Oh, sorry, I didn't press my stick in time. Forgot I had it. Yeah, that's why you say in the team comms. But really, we know the real strategy, Palos. But don't worry, no shame in it. You know, you do what you gotta do. You carry the game later. The partner thanks you anyway. How about this mid lane? We haven't really talked about it yet. Storm versus Puck. I mean, overall, I think in isolation, Puck probably gets the better of Storm just because of the silence and the Dream Coil. But laning wise, is it also a little bit of a struggle for the Storm?
I mean, I think it should be a little bit Puck favorite. So I think this is quite normal. Because with the face shift and Puckish in it, this hero is just... Yeah.
So annoying, yeah.
So annoying.
It's,
I mean, he's a hero where in certain lane matchups you could see the abuse, right? With the Puckish. So you keep regaining HP and mana. See what he's doing here. This is so annoying.
Dude, it's stupid. He's just using it off cooldown. It's like having a little heal off cooldown.
Yeah,
it's kind of
but
crazy.
When it comes down to the team fights, right? I think that's what matters, right? With the global, they could kill him through whatever shenanigans he's doing. As long as you just catch him when he's not in phase shift, he's gonna die for sure. You know, I think playing against Puck, the thing that you want to have is you kind of want to force him to buy a defensive item. But usually when you see Pucks go crazy, they don't really have a counter in the game, and they can kind of get their Parasma early because they don't have to buy any defensive item, right? I think these are the reasons why Void Spirit is also picked against Puck, right? You kind of force him to buy defensive items because you have X silence. So in this game, I would expect the Puck to at least get a use at some point, so that's going to slow down his timing quite a fair amount. But at the same time, you know, late game Puck is going to be very scary. You know, if they somehow manage to get there. I mean, we talk about the vacuum with the stun, but also, you know, the vacuum into the Puck coil, that could be deadly, you know, late game.
Yeah, you get the eggs, you get the shard, and then you just pump it out so
Pew,
many
pew.
auto attacks.
Everything dies.
I think the craziest thing about Puck, like, it doesn't really look like he's doing a lot of damage. Speaking of damage into the mid lane, 3 members in here, beautiful dead shot pushing Shanks away though, and they're actually gonna get the kill on the Tusk first. Lewis manages to claim that kill before going down himself, so Execration get what they came for, and they might not be done just yet. The calling coming down to prevent Bob from casting any spells for now. He's still dancing around on the backline. Another beautiful dead shot. DJ, he's been on the money of these so far, but I'm not sure whether it's gonna be enough. Bob now dropping low, still needs to cast some of these spells. The Arcane Curse and the Last Word might just tick him out there. Nice phase shift to dodge out that damage, and even had a Fairy Fire to boot. So he was still gonna be fine. Bob playing very nicely there and taking an advantage for his team in the mid lane.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we call a Pinoy Puck. They are the best Puck players in the region for that particular reason. You know, they really know how much they can go. And Bob is coming back in. He's gonna secure the last kill on Kukuy, I imagine. And is he gonna be able to survive this?
Ooh,
Doesn't land the dead
dodges
shot.
out the way.
Oh,
Last auto
phase
attack.
shift.
He is phase shift. Okay.
They needed to land the dead shot. That was not an easy dead shot to land because he was
No,
not
that
near
was-
trees.
Dude, look, DJ was landing crazy dead shots that entire mid engagement. I think I can forgive him for not landing that last one. That was a hard one to arc there.
Yeah.
But just off of that skirmish alone, huge mid-lane advantage for Execration, right? The Lewis Storm, they ganked him right before level 6. That's exactly what you want to see. And Execration, I mean, they can potentially look for more plays with this.
Yeah, Bob is definitely saying this is why you got kicked, Lewis. You know,
shit.
I'm the better mid player.
God, you relax. What the hell? That's crazy. Too soon, man. It's not even like they're MV. It's just lower bracket for now. They still got a chance. It would be a crazy comeback arc if Execration somehow knocked down Kukuys to lower bracket, and then later down in the bracket.
It's the morale, you know, the morale
Okay.
victory. You get the upper hand, you kill him. We
Yeah.
talk about the 3-3. He gets level 6 first, so he kills him. That's gotta feel good, you know.
Absolutely.
I was kind of
What the-
expecting some spicy all chats, you know. But
Oh, maybe a tip or so, right? Like, you just kind of like really dunk in on him, but They're keeping it civil for now. They had some juicy all chat at the start talking about CS2 1v1s for some reason. Not sure what that was about. Probably another inside joke on the big old friend group there. But yeah, early advantage. Even though that mid lane skirmish went so well for Execration, they are still not really trucking ahead. That's largely because we've been watching mid, but the side lanes have gone very nicely for Kukuys so far. In fact, they might just get Gabby another kill out here in this top lane, if not for those beautiful shots. I mean, that just means that Kuku is going to be the one to claim that with the last word, but still, that was a good try from Shanks. Still doesn't save him though.
Yeah, this is the throw against Darkseer counter, the lane counter matchup. It definitely pressures the Darkseer quite a bit in that lane. But Darkseer is also, at the end of the day, not the worst hero to start off from the back foot, you know, because you can clear stacks, put Iron Shell and then recover, and he's already clearing a couple of stacks here. And I think once you get the Helm, it's not the end of the day, you know, for Darkseer. You can just use the Helm with the Iron Shell. You basically send the creep to the lane with Iron Shell, push out one wave, and then your hero is farming another jungle camp, you know. So it's very, very efficient. He's, I think, probably the best farming hero with Helm in the early game. Like the way you abuse it, I think Darkseer, there's definitely no rival to Darkseer in terms of efficient farming.
I will say that losing this tier 1 top this early on is probably going to be quite difficult to manage though. They throw a wall out onto Gabby, trying to force out the ultimate. Snowball to buy some time, but he's going to come out straight into a very angry troll who just wants his hit. Nice little curveball into the troll, silencing him up. Here comes the Solar Guardian though. Can't land the connection onto Bob as he slips out of there. Looks like CML might be the target instead. They're looking to swing the hammer. Can't really get the connection. This has become a bit of a messy fight. Bob, Silenced up, still using the puckish to dodge out and heal a bit of damage. Finally, the hammer comes in and JG gets the kill. So a bit of an extended skirmish here with both teams poking and prodding. All they really lose is the support. But if they can get Bob somehow, that'll be huge. No, just stepping away.
There was definitely a lot of confusion there. Like they didn't know if they were gonna go in. The Dawnbreaker sees the decrep, and he doesn't want to use his Starbreaker, so he backs off a little bit. So everything was kind of uncertain. So it was a lot of poking and prodding, right? With the initial coil, then the Dawnbreaker kind of maybe jumped the gun a little bit with the Solar Guardian because the troll wasn't really in any danger of dying there, and then they kind of like go back and forth a little bit. But I think we're gonna see a lot of that. You know, like teams are gonna try to poke out the big spells and then go back and then reinitiate. There's always going to be this in and out sequence coming in, you know, especially for the puck. And Tusk is going to be able to do that when you get your dagger, right? You go in, you try to punch someone, and then you snowball, you dagger out, you know. It's going to be a lot of poking and prodding in the team fights to try to secure an upper hand, right? You need to create chaos so that Tino can get a big vacuum into the Sven stun. That is what you are hoping for. And whereas if you're on the Kukuys side, you want the Storm to ball in, Global Sirens, immediately kill someone with the Solar Guardian. That is like the biggest combo, right? And ideally a core.
Oh, the Fairy Fire!
That was close.
The Fairy Fire! Gabby held that one on to the last moment.
He actually would have lived anyway, even without Fairy Fire. Because
You think so?
He had the bonus armor from the Spark
of Courage. Yeah, so you're right.
He would have lived regardless from the last strike click, but that was close.
Yeah.
So Coil is
try
down.
that from Bob. Mid lane, level 6, Global Silence available. Bam! Doesn't land the connection just yet. They don't even want to use the ult. There it goes. Kuku. It was holding it on to the last second. He was seeing whether he could save it. Well, he just needed to secure the kill on Bob there. Getting Lewis a much needed sort of injection back into things. And I mean, this game number 2, the early game, I think game number 1, Execration, they let some kills slip, but it still felt like they were trucking ahead. Now Lewis.
Whoa.
Brother, I guess he's just setting up for the Solar Guardian. They know Palos is alone down here. CML trying to run over to help his Sven, but it's not going to be in time. And somehow that crazy ball lightning play into complete darkness works out for them.
There's no way he knew he was there, right? Like, how did he... I think he discovered him by accident.
Maybe we missed a ward that just expired or something. I'm not too sure. But either way, works out there. Lewis looking phenomenal now on the Storm Spirit. Just making things happen.
Yeah, that's just exactly like you walk down the street. Hey, somebody drop a $100 note here, you know.
Yeah.
I have no idea who, but I'm just gonna claim it as my own. You know, that's what happened to the Storm there. Lewis just picks up a freebie accidentally. And that's gonna be a big one, you know, because the Sven was kind of balling out of control, you know, so that's gonna like slow him down a little bit. He's still top of the net worth, almost 7k at 30 minutes. But that
yeah.
that
I
is
mean,
a big kill.
It slows him down for like what, 30 seconds, like, and then he's straight back to farm.
It's still something, you know. Every
Okay,
minute
okay.
counts, every 30 seconds counts in a game, you know. If
True.
you don't get your dagger 30 seconds quicker, it could mean that you lose out on a big kill, you know. So do
that's
not
true.
underestimate the power of 30 seconds.
Okay, sorry, Winter, sorry. I mean, you talk about 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
You see, if you
He's
give
not
the
even
troll
gonna last
30
three.
seconds, his team would have been here. That's precisely
that's
what
true.
happens with 30 seconds.
He needed to buy 1 minute in that case. 30 seconds wasn't enough. The shot's gonna come through and lock up DJ. They're gonna try and turn around on the fight though. Palos losing quite a bit of HP. He needs some help. Global Silence comes through, preventing the heal from the Pugna, but the D-Crap was there in time. Now you need to heal up Palos. Nice snowball save. There's a Blade Mail though. Lewis waiting for his time. Tino coming in as well, but Palos gets pulled back into his death. They're trying to finish off Kuku to the side. Bob getting himself a double kill, and looks like they've punched up JG and locked down the Dawnbreaker as well, trying to stop the body blocks there. Lewis still balling back in. Shanks is very low and out of mana. Another beautiful D-Crap, but Gabby, he's now back in the fight. Ready to swirl those axes, and Tino, all the auras in the world ain't gonna save you from this. Solar Guardian coming through, saving Lewis. The last ball lightning on the nether wall will kill him, but Gabby looking to clean up big time. Shanks somehow still alive through this all, but Bob is the real winner of this entire engagement. It's him against JG now, the last two men standing, and DJ waiting around the wings to try and surprise him. Bob, he's not gonna risk it this time. But what the hell was that? What a messy fight. 4 apiece dead on each side, and the only members to survive are JG and Bob.
You say messy, but it was a calculated fight by Execration. Because they know that the global was down, and they know that the Solar Guardian was close to coming up. So I think it was a really well-timed fight by Execration. Using the Sven, bringing him in the smoke, and just taking the initiative, you know. I think that was on their part very well done. Whereas for, I think Kukuys side, they still managed to kind of held their ground there with I think the Solar Guardian came off cooldown very late into the team fight. But yeah, I mean they would have loved to have the global up, you know, initially to kill off the Puck there. It was so close to killing off Bob there in some of the engagements. But yeah. Puck gets, I think, the biggest win out of all the cores on the Execration side. DJ. Again, you know, he's gonna run into heroes.
Going ethereal though, beautiful shots. Okay.
Oh, that is the shard, upgraded shard.
Yeah, did I miss something? He just bought it.
He just bought it? Holy.
Yeah, he just bought it. The tormentor's not even up, brother. How could he? He just bought it. Okay.
I mean, it's also like a farming
Are you gonna
shard.
say it's a farming tool?
Yeah, it helps you farm, and at the same time it does damage and it slows, right? So I'm not gonna lie, it's not something I've seen a lot.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
at all.
I'm trying to.
Because usually you just rush dagger.
Yeah, but I guess in this particular game, you don't necessarily
It's good
need the
against the
dagger.
troll. I guess you trap it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you
it
could,
makes him have to walk a bit longer around, right? The kiting potential is definitely there.
I mean, you could say he doesn't need a dagger because of the global, but you still want to have it no matter what.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the blink save is just
It's too good. Yeah.
it's too good.
I mean,
And I
maybe it's
like
because
his,
of this,
I
right?
like he's getting the use first too against the global silence.
Yeah.
That's usually what I do as well against the silencer.
Okay,
Relax.
Shanks, he's buying a lot of.
relax.
I know, but he's pulling off some sweet moves. You know, you gotta show appreciation.
He's trying to stop him from getting the galvanized stack. That's what he was trying to do. Come on, take the kill, support, take the kill, you know.
Yeah, DJ, you know you want to, but DJ, he's been in the business long enough. He knows the rules. Don't take a kill unless absolutely necessary.
What? No. You know, in SEA, when you're playing with DJ, you let DJ take all the kills.
Okay, I don't know about whether that is the case in current DJ. You know what I mean? Maybe last time, like maybe 2-3 years ago, maybe even longer than that, you're like, yeah, give DJ all the network.
The Rubik days, you know, he's playing Rubik and you're like, okay, just take the kill, just play it, boy. You know, you carry the game.
This is a different time. It's a different time for sure. DJ, I think he's been a player who has always been talked about as the very, you know, one of the Southeast Asian legends.
He's the pinnacle of position for, I think, players, you know. Like, you would want to be like him, you know. If you're aspiring to be a world-class position player, you look at DJ, you know, and here.
Hold that thought. Solar Guardian coming in to punish Shanks again. Troll. He's gonna very easily be able to survive that one. That's a Tusk out of the picture again.
That is a good
More
poke.
intelligence being taken away.
That's a good poke. So now
Yeah,
with
you
the
think so?
Dawnbreaker ulti down, you could definitely consider your next move, right? Do you actually go for something like a Roche, or do you make a smoke play? I think these are things that you always try to do when you're playing into multiple big spells, right? On an enemy lineup, Global plus Solar Guardian. So you're gonna have to try to poke and prod and force them to use it. And I think taking casualties is okay if they're on the supports.
Yeah. Yeah, just the necessary sacrifice. You know, it's a bit different from your pub games, you know, when you run it down in your feet, that might not necessarily be a good play, but I promise you, Shanks, he knows what he's...
I'm not telling you to do it in your pubs, okay? I'm not telling you to do it.
Yeah, no.
Because your teammates, guess what? You know, when Solar Guardian is down, you think they're gonna go attack
No,
the enemy.
no.
They're attacking jungle creeps, you know.
Yeah, this dude is farming a Croaker with his Midas, okay? It ain't even the same thing. DJ, he's very close to danger, but I don't think he knows it. Palos, try to find an angle, and immediate pierce the veil though, that's gonna bail him out. Still gonna try and chase. Troll is around the corner though, but I guess without the Solar Guardian, they just want to dodge at all costs. Still trying to find the chase down. DJ, pierce the veil out. Gabby's gonna try and look for a fight though, start swirling those axes, doing the damage. Kuku is around the area as well. He got a global silence, but Puck already jaunting out of there. And I guess another casualty that's like kind of okay, because you know, if you only lose supports during this downtime without your ults, it's not actually that bad. Looks like Kukuys, they're looking for a fight.
Yeah, maybe it was close to being up, you know. Solar Guardian, I like that he actually TP'd, because he didn't have Solar Guardian, right? So he TP'd the actual hero to try and take the team fight. That's something I admire a lot. Because a lot of players would just, Solar Guardian cooldown, bye bye guys, I'm not gonna show up, you know, but he tried to go still. And
smoke breaks. Yeah, Lewis a bit
he didn't get the jump.
short on that. Yeah, they saw the puck for maybe 1 or 2 seconds, but maybe their eyes were just tracked somewhere else, trying to contest that Tormentor. CML might just be the price to pay for that shot that he just got though. Going Decrep, going Ethereal for now, but Gabby will be able to chop him up very easily.
You know what it was, Mike? It was because of the fact that the puck just got used, right? So they ran into him, they clicked on him, and he just got the use. That's why they didn't go on him.
Right, they're like, even if we instantly silence, he's just got to use it off and then jaunt immediately,
you have
right?
to
It's like not worth.
Force him to use himself, but they couldn't. Because if you cast Global when the puck is used, he will come down as silence. So he cannot actually get out of that, you know. But they didn't have any like early orchid or something to force him.
Oh, what a setup here. 21 minutes. Solar Guardian coming on. That's the eggs. Again, Shanks having to sacrifice his life just to get that ultimate to use.
It's getting very low, but he's going to be alive. The whole team actually TP in except DJ. So you know Gabby is definitely the boss here. Saving private Gabby here. Everyone TPing in. So like, once again, you know, Execration managed to poke out the Dawn. I really like how they are utilizing the supports to just trade off this big spells, and I mean, unfortunately for the task, you know, he's gonna be dirt poor doing this, you know. That's why I felt like the shot would actually hurt him a lot more, because he's not gonna be getting a lot of space on the map, right? So that kind of defeats the purpose of getting the shot to clear waves.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, it's a slow, so it helps you fight.
Okay, hear me out.
You need the dagger and use.
CML? Oh, that's a nice Tumbler's Toy and Glimmer Cape over the tree line. But yeah, I mean, if I'm just putting myself in the shoes of Shanks, right? If I'm a hero that's just always dying, as speaking of dying, Kuku, nice Glimmer Cape. Atos to hold back Palos. Kuku is going to some. Just kidding.
Nope.
Just kidding, guys. Haha. Funny little joke.
Yeah. Just because he has a sister shout, so you just expected him to survive or what?
No, I just didn't see the other heroes wrapping around very conveniently. I thought it was just a one-off thing. Both supports gonna go down. They pop the God Strength, but unfortunately for them, Roche is in the bot lane, so not really sure what objective aside of Execration I gotta try and get with this pop of the Sven ult. No, I was gonna say, I think Shanks, you know, the fact that he's dying, he got that early shot because of an early game advantage that he got, and that's like an early investment, you know what I mean? It's gonna pay you back in the long run, because you can farm creep waves.
He would have had his use, right, if he didn't buy it, but yeah. But either way, they are still in a pretty good spot in the game right now, so Sven is ready. I guess he's ready to get Roshan with his next God Strength. He's gonna be level 20 right now. I mean, this is gonna be just a classic Sven timing, right? With level 20, you get the slow resist and he's gonna be running people down. And the troll is going to finish his Aghanim, so that's going to help with the decrep, so you can remove the decrep with your axes. I think,
that's huge.
and the surge as well. So those are the two things you want to be dispelling. I mean, the Warcry is kind of okay to dispel when Sven doesn't have a shot, so it's dispellable. I think that is also probably kind of useful in the game. So I would say it's an excellent choice here by Gabby going for the Aghanim's.
I mean, as this game goes on, I feel like we're finding more and more reasons why this troll pick was just such a great last pick. Unfortunately, it hasn't really panned out for them, at least in this current state of the game. It's been quite back and forth, but like you mentioned, Execration, they've done a great job at just forcing out these ultimates. The game plan for Kukuys is to just have that perfect setup. The Storm goes in, the Troll goes in, the Global Silence, they kill a couple of heroes, but Execration haven't been giving them that opportunity.
Yeah.
And now Palos, he's the big boss looking for a target. Might just find JG here, pops that God Strength, in comes the stun, Shanks. There's the snowball as well. Don't think they can get the distance away. JG, that's the shots, that's the punch, and that is the kill. A dominating kill streak going the way of Palos. And would you look at that? A tier 2 tower to clean up while you're at it.
Yeah, that is a very, very big kill. Whenever you're playing the Dawn is the first hero you want to kill for sure. You don't want to go on her teammates so that she can use her Solar Guardian to counter initiate. And now, guess what? We have Yules on Shanks, so he has a way to get out of the global. And unfortunately, there's still the calling to worry about. They can just layer the calling down when you use Yules on yourself, So it's still possible to catch the Tusk in the team fight. But yeah, I think overall, Kukuys are gonna need more items. They need more time. They need the BKB on the Storm. They also need the BKB on Troll. They also need the BKB. Actually, the Dawn kind of also maybe needs it later down the road. I think
there's a lot of sticky stuff on the ground and like all these ion shells
but
and
at the same
spells.
time, it's so juicy, right? To get Refresher off. I think Refresher Academy is like always the build now. So he's gonna do that, and then after that, maybe it's gonna be like a very late BKB. So you get the shot, and then you have your Hex. But the reason why Hex is good is because you have Refresher, so you have double Hex. So it's always a consideration: do I want to get Hex on Dawn, or do I get even more team fight? Right? If you need more team fight, you get the Shiva or AC. Those items are very, very, especially the Shiva. It amps up the Storm damage a lot. But at the same time, if the Storm is getting it, then you probably don't want to get two. So it really depends, But the main thing is they have to go late. They want to go late. And now they're going to smoke with the BKB timing on the Storm Spirit, trying to look for a pick-off here.
Yeah, I think that was spotted on a ward though. There's a very nicely placed ward near the mid lane.
Yeah, they saw it.
Yeah, because look at the way they're immediately adjusting. The way that the Pugna is moving, if he walks past that Observer ward in the top lane, it might give Kukuys the knowledge that
he is going to be the first hero that I want to kill. They want to jump the Pugna, global kill him. That's it. He needs to die first. If he's not dying, I think it's going to be very tricky. Sure, you have the axe to dispel the Decrab, but he's also the heal, right? Like if the heal is going on, then it's going to be also a very annoying thing to kill his teammates through the heal.
Oh dear. I see a hammer in the mid lane. They know JG's around. Not sure whether JG noticed, but the bitter chill on the creep wave. It's gonna be a bit too late. Again, they find the kill onto JG. And this is just rinse and repeat. They did this 2 minutes ago, Winter, and it's happened again. Storm Spirit gonna zip in, though. Palos on the sidelines. Might just be punished. The Global Silence coming in. Can they save him? The Sven in some trouble. Lewis doing quite a bit of damage, but clearly not enough.
Not a good wall.
The Aura's keeping him alive, and the wall holding him in place. The buyback, Dawnbreaker coming through, but just can't find Palos. Manages to slip out of trouble, and they haven't been able to kill a hero just yet. It's probably just gonna be CML that they have to settle for, and that's the only thing that they get. That was a Dawnbreaker buyback, almost all your ultimates, and you still don't find anything but a position 5.
Bob is not done. He's still lurking around the area, using the ward to his advantage here. But I think that all started with the Dawn, right? I actually don't even blame the Dawn getting caught because he has a sentry in the lane, right? So he definitely doesn't feel like there's a vision on him. And then he gets jumped. I'm pretty sure he's
like, where the hell is this wall? Like, how did they know?
There's a sentry in front of him. But he doesn't. When he goes back to the replay, he's gonna realize, oh my god, that's so unlucky because the ward is just like 1 hit away from the sanctuary range. That gave him that false security that he could push out that wave, right? This is why Dota is such an amazing game. So small little margins, the small little things. And sometimes when you watch it, right, you would miss it easily, if you're just not giving players enough credit, Like players
it's so easy to point at him and say like, oh, the Dawnbreaker dies twice in a row, but there's so many things that Execration did to set that thing up.
When you look at things closely, okay, you understand why he was actually farming there because he had a sentry. He thought it was safe.
I thought for a moment there he would notice the Tusk innate popping on the creep wave, but huge
big
vacuum into the stun. Are you serious? Oh my goodness, that was perfect. Who needs a vacuum with the Sven stun if you have your own? Two supports immediately out, and JG gonna get swiped down. The tips come through. Tino definitely deserves that one. And with that, they've just carved open a free Aegis for themselves. I mean, talk about the Darkseer last pick being a good combination. Question mark. Own it, Dodo. Not sure what that's about, but man, Tino really stepped up big time.
It's a sweet play right there from the Darkseer. I think that is something that every Darkseer player dreams of, so Tino definitely made it happen there with the Helm creep. Vacuum into Helm creep stun. That's something you don't see a lot anymore. But glad to see
onto the back line as well. And the timing of that was just so unfortunate. The troll was in the front, but he manages to just break the smoke at the back from the high ground, get a max range vacuum, it feels like, pull in the 3 ranged heroes all to their demise.
Why the Dawn was in the vacuum? That was strange as well. I think he was just so scared, after 2 times dying when he was pushing the wave, he just decided, it gets to you, like, why are they ganking me? Because as Dawn, usually you don't want to be in the smokes, usually, unless you have a Hex or some way to start the fight. That's why it was also really strange that the Dawn was in the smoke. I think things get to you, you die twice in a row, and then the sentry doesn't see a wall, and then you're like, what the hell? How do they know I'm farming? Where am I farming? So you tend to second guess yourself, and then you decide, okay, I can't let it happen again. I join the smoke, and then that happens. You're like, oh no. But right now, like, the Troll is not buying BKB, so he bought a Basher as well, so your team fight is not going to be as strong. You need like 3, I would say at least 2 BKBs on Storm and Troll to be able to take the head-on fight. So things are definitely very, very complicated right now for Kukuys. Execration is
Execration.
Pretty simple. Sven in front. He's the tank, he's the tower hitter, and then Darkseer is going to be setting up the nice little combinations, or nice big combinations with the Sven stun.
Yeah, Bob just poking away right now, dancing around the supports. He knows that even if they use the global on him right now, there's not a way they can kill him. Gonna try and set up on the Sven. It's the Aegis on the puck though, so Palos is still susceptible, but by God is he tanky. He barely did half his HP with that full commitment. And we'll take it down the Netherward and suspend this push for now. I don't see any reason for Execration to leave though. They didn't really need to use anything. Just continuing to poke and prod at Gabby, get him lower and lower, put him in an awkward position.
They want to wait for the Dawn and Storm to jump in and come in with the global, and that's what's happening here. They're going to try to poke, but they're really, really patient. They just use a Glimmer.
They're just really just biding their time, playing around the Netherward. It's so hard. The vacuum and the stun, both supports again caught out. This time the Pierce the Veil comes out in time, but the Solar Guardian forced to be used on saving the supports. That's not what you want. Storm gonna come in. They don't know whether the Silencer is buyback, so they are wary of that global silence. But in reality, we can see that that's not something that Kukuys have available to them. Easy for Execration to just play this slow though. They get the stun out onto Gabby. Where's the follow-up stun? Punch up into the sky. Can you get the ult off Gabby? Manages to start swinging these axes. Dispels himself from the decrep. And CML now in some trouble. On the front lines, JG! He just gets destroyed. And GG is called a final vacuum just to mop up the dirt on the ground. DJ is gonna go down, and the only person to survive is Lewis, the former Execration mid laner. They'll show him some mercy, but none shown in this overall series. Execration